They just crossed the line. And whether you realize it or not, the US dollar just got nuked. You won't hear this on CNBC, but the US is now paying more to cover the interest on its debt than it spends on national defense. That's like maxing out your credit cards, then borrowing more just to make the minimum payment. It's not just unsustainable, it's a setup because the dollar's already being replaced. Not officially, but practically. And if you're still holding cash, saving in a 401k, or sitting on the sidelines, you're gonna get left behind. So let's start with what they won't say out loud. The US debt just blew past $37 trillion. It's rising by $1 trillion every 100 days. And interest payments alone, they're projected to eat up 30% of the budget by 2035. That's a debt spiral. And when your debt payments outpace your revenue, game over. Moody's just downgraded the US credit outlook from stable to negative, which is code for, we don't trust you anymore. Foreign buyers are pulling out of US treasuries. The Fed's buying its own debt to keep the system on life support. That's a fake market, and it's cracking. Off the record, they know this. They just can't say it out loud. The dollar isn't dead, but it is bleeding. And every time the Fed prints more money to save it, they're making the problem worse. That's why billionaires are dumping dollars, nations are hoarding gold, and the smart money's shifting into real assets that can't be printed. But before we get into what to do about it, let me lay out two possible futures. Scenario 1, the dollar continues its slow-moving decline. Painful, but predictable. You have time to reposition. If you start now, you're likely going to be just fine. Scenario 2, the dollar, it collapses overnight. And here's what could trigger that. And none of these are far-fetched. First, the loss of reserve status. BRICS breaks away. Nations abandon the dollar. Treasury dumping begins. Or 2, hyperinflation from debt crisis. U.S. debt becomes unserviceable. The Fed prints to avoid default. Game over. 3, geopolitical black swan. War, terrorism, one big shock, and panic spreads instantly. 4, a banking crisis. A major U.S. bank fails. Derivatives blow up. Contagion kicks in. Or 5, digital or cyber attack. A coordinated attack freezes systems, it halts payments, it wipes records. Or 6, a mass treasury dump. China or Japan liquidates. Rates spike. Fed panics. Dollar spirals. Or 7, political meltdown. Maybe we have a coup attempt or civil unrest. Sudden loss of global trust. Or 8, oil shock. OPEC ditches the petrodollar. Game changes overnight. And these aren't theories. Every one of these has happened somewhere else. It's just a question of when and if it happens here. Now, imagine this. You wake up tomorrow and you grab your phone to check the news. And the headlines scream, dollar collapsed overnight, economy in chaos. So you rub your eyes and you take a deep breath, but instead of panic, you feel a rush of excitement because you've spent the last several years preparing for exactly this moment. While the world slept, your financial strategy was quietly coming into its own. For years, you've been investing in income-producing real estate, carefully securing each property with fixed-rate, long-term mortgages denominated in dollars. As you look around your room, you realize your monthly mortgage payments, locked in years ago, have just effectively plummeted. Inflation from the dollar's collapse means you're now repaying those debts with vastly cheaper currency. The real value of your debt just shrank dramatically overnight. Your tenants' rent payments, meanwhile, are surging upward along with inflation. Your cash flow is not only safe, it's rapidly multiplying. Your property's values rise as investors scramble for tangible assets, something real, something that won't evaporate like the dollar just did. However, there's a thought that briefly crosses your mind. What if your tenants struggle to keep up with the rapidly rising rents? Without their payments, your cash flow could stall, leaving you with all of those mortgages to pay. But you're prepared for this too. Your eyes, they drift to your home safe. Inside, a small but potent stash of gold coins. You see them glimmering. With the dollar crash, the perceived value of gold has exploded upwards. Although gold hasn't truly risen, it's merely maintained its stable value relative to the collapsed dollar. Its purchasing power in dollars has surged dramatically. Yesterday, paying off your mortgages might have required a full pound of gold. Today, due to the collapse, you could potentially wipe out all of that debt with just an ounce of gold. Your next moves are clear. You contact your tenants, reassure them that you're stable, and discuss rent adjustments aligned with the new economic reality. Evaluate your debts. Consider paying down certain mortgages with your significantly more valuable gold. Maybe you pay them all off. Or better yet, leverage your new wealth to acquire even more undervalued properties. And 3, leverage your gold stash. Exchange a portion of your gold for undervalued assets or additional properties as opportunities arise amid the initial chaos. The stuff is going to be on sale. There will be deals. By midday, while neighbors panic, you're calm, secure, and empowered. Instead of anxiety, you're filled with gratitude for the thought and preparation you invested in the years prior. You're not just safe, you're thriving. This is the morning you realize your strategy didn't just protect you from disaster, it launched you into unprecedented prosperity. You're not just safe, you're winning. And that's the kind of morning that's only possible if you prepare now. So here's a plan, and it happens to be my plan. It's the same plan used by the wealthiest people that I know. It's called the exploit and escape strategy, also known as how to win while the dollar dies. Step 1, hedge with gold and Bitcoin. You don't go all in on one basket. You hedge. Gold equals stability, proven for 5,000 years. Bitcoin equals volatility plus an amazing upside, the anti-dollar. You want to allocate 5 to 10% of your portfolio across physical gold. I'm talking coins and bars. And then into cold stored Bitcoin. Get it off the exchanges. And then an option would be gold-backed crypto or ETFs. Remember this, gold doesn't go up. The dollar goes down. All right, step 2, flip your thinking about debt. You got to transform that because most people, they fear debt. The rich use it. Bad debt, it buys liabilities. Good debt buys you cash flow. They use long-term, fixed, low-interest debt to control assets that pay them monthly. Step 3, secure cheap debt while you still can, like right now. Because as trust falls, interest rates rise. Banks tighten lending. But right now, you can still get access. And use seller financing, subject to deals, and wraparound mortgages, 0% business cards, tools like loopholelending.com. Lock in credit before the system locks you out. Step 4, buy income-producing real estate. This is where it gets fun. Real estate gives you rising rents, gives you the privilege or the benefits of leverage. It gives you the tax breaks. And look for small multifamily properties, single-family homes, and landlord-friendly markets, creative finance deals. I mean, if it cash flows now, just wait till you refinance later or watch your debt disappear during a collapse. And step 5, inflate your way to wealth. Here's the real cheat code. Inflation makes your debt cheaper and your assets more valuable. Buy your assets with fixed rate loans. When inflation spikes, you're paying back that loan in weaker dollars while your rent and property value go up. That's how wealth is built quietly. And if the dollar collapses hard and fast, your gold spikes, your debt essentially disappears, your assets survive. And this is the magic, like in the scenario number 1 that I walked you through earlier. What once took a pound of gold to pay off might only take an ounce. That's the exploit and escape strategy. It's what I'm doing. It's what Smart Money is doing. And it's what I've laid out for you in a free doc below for easy reference. I just kind of summed it all up for you, made it easy to access. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Isn't this just fear-mongering?
Fair. But look, I'm not saying the sky is falling tomorrow. I'm saying the roof's been leaking for years. And now we're seeing cracks in the foundation. This video is not about fear. It's about preparedness. There's a huge difference between panic and positioning. And this is positioning.
But the dollar's still the strongest currency in the world.
You're right, for now, but every dominant currency in history thought the same thing until it wasn't. Power doesn't typically vanish overnight. It erodes slowly, then collapses fast. Smart money doesn't wait for permission. It hedges early.
Okay, but this strategy only works if you already have money.
Hey, I totally get that. But I'm not talking about buying luxury condos in Manhattan. I'm talking about creative finance, using seller financing, subject to deals, and wraparound mortgages, using all of those to buy income without relying on banks or a big bankroll. I mean, that's how I got started. That's how most of my clients get started. We don't throw cash at problems. We structure solutions because we know it's never a money problem. It's just an idea problem. You just need some new ideas.
Yeah, but gold just sits there. It doesn't cash flow.
Exactly. Gold's not your offense. It's your defense. Think of it like financial insurance. You hope you never need it, but if you do, you'll be damn glad you have it.
Bitcoin, really? It's too volatile.
Hey, I totally agree. That's why it's only a slice of the plan. Gold is your bunker. Bitcoin's your moonshot. You don't bet the farm on it. You hold enough to matter if the system resets.
This is just another buy real estate pitch.
Nope. This isn't about owning granite countertops and praying for appreciation. It's about using inflation, debt, and time as tools to quietly build wealth while others are bleeding value. It's about cash flow, control, and leverage, not hype. You don't need a windfall. You need a strategy. Tools, they're already here. You just have to use them before the rules change. Thanks for watching. Be smart. Be ready. And I'll see you next time. Take care.